what does it really mean to truly trust in the Lord? Right? Many of us out there, especially Christians, they don't actually understand what does it mean to truly trust in Jesus Christ. Okay? Some people trust in the product; they trust in what God gave. That's a problem. I think I've actually talked about this on my last video, right? But we cannot focus on what God gives you, right? Focus on who God is. And the Bible reveals that by saying God is righteous, just, fair, right? So because the Lord is righteous and good, He teaches sinners the path they should follow. Psalm 25 verse 8. So what does it really mean to truly trust in the Lord, right? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Alright, yeah. So many of us have a different understanding of trust. You trust a person because of what he gives you, not because of who he is, but because of what he gives you. And that's what many of us do, right? We trust in what God gives us. Life, health, whatever, success, all that, jobs, whatever. We worship God for what He gives us. And that's not what God wants, actually, right? Because if you trust in the product, you don't actually love that person. You just love what he gives you, if that makes sense, right? You just love him for what he gives you, right? But if you actually change doing of trusting God for who He is, not for what He gives you, right? Just like in the Gospels when Jesus was crucified, right? He died, then 3 days later He risen from the dead, right? I think we all know this actually, and people saw Him except for Thomas. People saw Him and they told Thomas, and let's not forget Thomas was one of the disciples, right? Was a disciple of Jesus, right? He knew what Jesus does, he knew what Jesus was and what He do, performs many miracles, raised people from the dead, all that, right? We all know that. And Thomas, when they told Thomas that Jesus is still alive, Thomas did not believe them. He said, until I see his nail marks on his hands, then I'll believe, right? So the problem with Thomas that he focuses on the physical, not the spiritual. Let's not forget, Jesus is very spiritual, and the Holy Spirit actually works spiritually. Yes, right? And he actually wanted to see God, that he wanted to see Jesus, that He really is alive. And it's crazy, bro, because that means he truly doesn't know who God is. You should know who God is. And if you're still doing that, if you're still praising God for what He gives you, I'm sorry, but Jesus doesn't know you. Jesus don't know you. And if you actually feel, some type of way, if you actually feel like you feel I don't know, maybe you feel bad about this, good, because you were an unbeliever. The Gentiles who don't know God. You don't know God if you do that. Love God for who He is, not for what He gives you. Do you truly trust in Jesus Christ? Do you truly believe that Jesus was a faithful, sinless man? Do you actually believe that? Okay, you do. Now, do you believe and truly trust in God for who He is? And we should actually do what? Give our life to God. I've talked about this. Give your life to God, and then let Him take control, right? Let Him take control of your life. Just like in the book of Job. Job was a very God-loving and God-fearing man, right? right? And when things started to go bad, when he started to lose everything, his wife told him to curse God and die. Imagine that, bro. And his wife was actually, a believer of Christ, did know God, right? But he told Job that curse God and die. He told him because Job was starting to lose everything. Job lost everything, and his wife, the mother of his children, told him to curse God and die. Why? Because he believed in God for what God gave them. He gave them wealth, children, farms, all that, right? And now that God started to take them away, don't forget, God just wanted to test Job, that does he truly trust in me, or does he truly trust in what I give him? And we all see that Job is a very trust God for who he is, and not for what God gives him, right? So think about that. Think about that. Do you trust God for who he is, or you maybe trying to use him and actually want him to give you success or something? Man, God, let's not forget, God is smart, a very intelligent being, bro. And if you think you're trying to, you can't die, bro. You can't die, for real. Like, you can't die, bro. And that's what I want to share, bro. So God does not know you if you do that. God does not know you if you do that. I'm talking about you, man. Or woman, whoever you are. You, bro. God doesn't know you. Because a lot of people actually don't know how to truly trust in the Lord. And I just wanted to show you all, like, I'll actually do a part 2, because I want all of us to actually have that, that mindset that we don't love God and trust him for what he gives us. We love him for what he is, for who he is, right? And thank you all for watching. As always, subscribe to be part of the ministry.
In the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, 'cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up